Hello, in this video we're going to have a look at frequency tables and bar charts. And we're going to do that by having a look at an example. So I asked 9 people what their favourite pet was. The first person said cat, second person said parrot, third one said cat, then dog, and so on. So I got 9 answers from the people I asked what their favourite pet was. And the list I've got here works okay when I've got 9 people, but imagine what happens if I'd asked 30 or 40 people what their favourite pet was. Then I'm going to get this great big long list of answers and it becomes really difficult to work out what's going on. It's much easier to have a look at a frequency table. So I've got one row for each of my different types of pets. I'm going to come up with a tally score and I'm going to have my frequency. And all I mean by that is how many. So my frequency is my count. So for parrot, how many people said parrot? Well, I can have a look. I can read across. I've got 1, 2 parrots, nothing else at the end. So my frequency for parrot would be 2. 2 people said parrot. And that's not too bad when I've got 9 answers up here. I can work through 9 quite easily and count them up. But if I've got a longer list, it's much easier to work through your list from the start through to the finish, and we're going to cross them off as we go. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to start off with cat. I'm going to cross that off, and I'm going to put a tally mark in my my box that's next to cat. So the next one is a parrot, so I'm going to put a tally mark against my parrots. I've got cat, so another mark against my cats. I've got dog, so that's going to come down here, tally mark against my dog. Parrot, dog, another dog, got 3 there now, cat, and the final one is a dog. When I've finished, I should have crossed off every piece of data, so all of those words through there should have a line through. So I'm feeling confident I've got all of my data into my table. All I then need to do is add up my tally marks. So for parrot, I've got 1, 2 marks. So my frequency, remember all I mean by that is my count. So 2, I've got a frequency of 2. Cat, I've got 1, 2, 3 tally marks. So that's going to have a frequency of 3. And my dog, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tally marks. So I've got a frequency of 4. I can do a quick check when I finish because I've got, I take 2 and I add 3 and then I add the last category, which was 4. 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 4 is 9. Well, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people that I asked, and if I add my counts up, 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 4 gives me my 9. So I know I haven't missed any more bits of data off. So I do this systematically, start from the left, work over to the right, cross them off as I've used them, and I've put them into my tally, add up my tally, and if when I add my counts up at the end I get to 9, which is the number of people that I asked, I know I haven't missed anybody off and I'm looking pretty good. So frequency tables, really good way. I can work out, I've got 4 people saying dog, so more people said dog than cats, and more people said cats than parrots. So I can see quite a lot of stuff from my table. But it's a bit boring, it's a bit dull. Much better to draw a bar chart. So I've got my frequency table, I've got my parrots, my cats and dogs, 2, 3 and 4. My counts, remember, my frequency. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my categories across my axes. So I'm going to draw 1 bar for each of my different types of pets. So I'm going to draw a bar for my parrot, a bar for my cat, and a bar for my dog. And I'm going to have a look at my frequency. It says 2, 3 and 4. So parrot, 2 people said parrot. So I'm going to have my bar go up to my number 2. Bar's going to need to go up to here for my parrot. For my cat, 3 people said cat, so my cat is going to have to go up to frequency 3. So my bar for my cat is going to come up to here. My final one, my dog, 4 people said dog, so dog, 4, my bar's going to need to come all the way up to 4 on my chart. So I'm going to draw my bars with a ruler and a pencil. So really important, if it goes wrong, if you use a ruler, a pencil and a ruler, you can rub it out and correct it if it goes horribly wrong. So my parrot, remember I've got a frequency of 2, so I've got 2 on here. I need to come up to this line. So I'm going to draw my bar in, come up to my 2. From here I've got 1, 2, and then I'm just going to draw my line across the top. So that's my parrots. My cats, I had 3, so I need to come up to 3 on my chart. Put my ruler in, and we've got 1, 2, 3, up to my 3 here, and 1, 2, 3, up to my 3. Draw that across. There's my bar for my cats. I've just got my dogs to go. Frequency of 4, my count of 4. So I need to come all the way up to the top of my chart. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to finish it off. You can, once you've done them, you can colour them in. You can go for the same colour. You can go for different colours from each bars. You can have some nice bright red, blues, yellows, your choice. I'm just going to shade these in just so that we can see them a little bit better. So we've got our 3 bars. This is not a bad chart. What we've got categories down here, so we know which each one is. We've got parrot, cat and dog. We've got a title, pets. We've got a title, frequency, remember that's just my count going up my chart. I've got a scale, and I've got a title for my overall graph. So that's not bad. And I've plotted my points accurately on my bar chart. Okay, you're going to be having a look at a MyMaths task on bar charts and frequency tables, and it's going to look a little bit like this. So I'm going to talk you through what we're going to need to do. Okay, and your first question is going to look a little bit more like this one. And what we've got, just like we had a look at our bar charts that we looked at for our favourite pets, we've got a frequency table and we've got a bar chart. And the two should be the same, so they're just different. Bar chart's just telling me the information that I've got in my frequency diagram. So what have we got? First of all, we've got number of people, so the number of visits that people made to a supermarket in a week. So having a look down my categories, I've got visits 0, 1, 2, 3, so that's the number of times they visited. The frequency, remember, is just my count, so it's number of people that went once to the supermarket. So I had 1 person that went once, and I've got a frequency of 3, so these 3 people went 3 times. Just a bit of a coincidence, my 1 and 1 are the same, and the 3 and 3 here. So I could have had 27 people going 3 times. And I've got the data in my table over here. So these are my number of visits, my categories, remember, going across, frequency going up. So I've got 1 person, this person here, made 1 visit. Well, that's my 1 visit, frequency of 1. The people that made 3 visits, I had 1, 2, 3. So that's my number of visits, 3, and there were 3 of those, frequency of 3. We've got a bit more information on the chart, because we also know that the number of people that made no visits were 1, 2. This is number 2 here. So no visits, I've actually got, oh, if it's going to let me write, let's hope it does. I've got 2 people making no visits. And I still want to know how many people made 2 visits. Well, I can work that out. 2 visits, 1, 2, 3. I've got a count of 4. There's 4 over here. So 4 people went twice. So 2 visits, frequency is 4. I should be able to add these up. So if I've got 2 plus 1 plus 4 plus this 3 here, what have we got? We've got 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 4 is 7, plus 3 is equal to 10. So this total of 10 is the number of people that I've asked. So I asked 10 people, 2 said no visits, 1 said 1, 4 said 2 visits, 3 said 3 visits. Add them all up, I've got to 10. I get to the same thing looking at my bars. Over here I've got 2 plus 1 plus 4 plus 3, that's my 3 over here. And if I add those all up, I get to 10 people, number of visits, number of people that I've asked in my survey. How many people went more than once? Well, I can have a look in my table. Remember, more than once doesn't include once. So I'm not interested in this one. Not interested in this one. I'm interested in the number of people who went twice or 3 times. Well, that's 4. 4 people went twice and 3 people went 3 times. I can add 4 plus 3, and that's going to tell me that, we'll put an equals in, 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. So 7 people went more than once, so twice or more. Right, just going to pause there for a second. And the second question in the My Maths task looks a little bit like this. We've got a bunch of graphs down here, and this time we've got a survey. We've got 12 people, back to our pets, but this time the number of pets that they keep. So the categories, no pets, 1 pet, or 2 pets. So they've got their charts down here. So we can draw on here. We've got 0, 1 and 2, 0, 1 and 2, 0, 1 and 2. So pretty bad graphs because we've got no titles, we've got no scale, but we've got some general shape of the bars. So we can work out, so we have a look at this one, we've had 4 people said none, 4 people said 1, 4 people said 2. So my bar heights should all be the same, 4, 4 and 4. So this one's no good because it starts off low, gets a bit higher, and then the category 2 is really tall. But this one, we've got category 2, same as category 1, same as category 0. It's got to be this one over here. It's the one where they're all the same. This one doesn't work. And this one, although 1 and 2, these bars are the same height, these numbers are the same, so that's looking pretty good. But the category 0, 4, needs to be the same height. It needs to be up here. So that one doesn't work either. Let's have a look at the second example. 12 people were asked what they'd like to play in a rock band. We've got keys, drum, or guitar. So keys, drum, or guitar. We've got that the same over here. And we're trying to find the graph that's got this pattern. So the frequency is 2, then 4, then 6. So it goes up each time from keys to drum to guitar. Starts at 2, goes up to 4, goes up to 6. So this one's no good. It starts off, it drops, and it goes back up again. So that doesn't work. This one, oh, it's not too bad because it's gone up from drums to guitar. Drums to guitar, that's pretty good. But keys and drums are the same score. These are the same height, and they're not here. Drum's bigger than key. So that one's no good. Let's have a look at the last one. This one starts off small at key, goes up to drum, goes up again to guitar. Starts at keys, goes up to drum, up to 4, up to 6. This one looks pretty good. You need to press the button on that final graph. Okay? The examples you're going to get are going to be similar. The numbers will be different. So for your first one, it's not necessarily going to be 4, 4, 4. You might get 1, 3 and 5. And you need to pick which one of those graphs meets your data in your table. So you might be really lucky and get the one that I've looked at on the screen, in which case, happy days. But if not, have a look, see what your pattern is, 4, 4, 4. So this one must be flat, 4, 4, 4. This one was going up, 2, 4, 6. It needs to go up here, 2, 4, 6. Give them a go and have fun.